Time now for the game show about another game found within a race. And yes, it involves a chicken. Here's the inside line. Points will be awarded. Feelings will be hurt. But there can only be one winner. Here are your contestants, Greg Stump, Ryan Flores, and Tyler Burnett.
As you noticed by the open there, Greg Stump is not here again this week.
Who's Greg anyway?
He's at SEMA, working actually.
I'm not Greg.
And we're here in the studio not working. Donald Culver is here, a very fine producer for us, and he's going to talk some fantasy racing. He loves NASCAR, so good to be here, right?
Ooh, yeah, I love it.
Pole award goes to this man, Skip.
Pole position.
Ryan Flores.
Play it.
He made a mistake on pit road this week, which
I
cost
didn't
Ryan Blaney
That's a
the
low
win.
blow. Come on, man.
If you've ever heard this show. Yes, as you know, Skip
This is my
is
Coors
the
Light
front
pole
tire
award.
changer for the 12 car of Ryan Blaney, but he wins pole position by picking the winner of the race, correct?
Joseph Logano. I knew it all
That was a
along.
great pick.
Joseph.
Very
That was a
good
great
pick.
pick. I know, just listen to me.
Good all day. In fact, probably wasn't the best car at the end of the race, but
Best short run car.
still won.
You know who the best car was, I think, at the end of the race? 2-car.
He was
He
pretty
was
I think if
good.
the
He was
2-car
really
would have
good.
cleared the 22, he would have driven off the victory. But
I don't know about that. 78 was pretty dang good.
he was pretty stout, but if he would have cleared the 22, the 78 would have had to deal with the 22, and he wouldn't have gotten the 78.
And we saw how that worked
I
out
wouldn't have gotten
with
it.
him. We're trying to pass the 22.
Yeah, interesting. We saw some different tech inspection at Martinsville. A couple guys went to the back of the field,
Yeah, so what
changed up
they
DraftKings
did,
a bit.
Yeah, what they did there, and what you'll see probably next year more often, is it was an impound race like they do at a super speedway. So it was practice, qualify, and everything on Saturday. Sunday morning you roll through tech. So with that being said, Sunday morning, the first time being that they go through tech, your stuff has to be legal.
The first
it's
time
not.
going through, correct?
Yes. So like the 78 didn't have a bumper bar they were supposed to have in, they didn't have it in, trying to save weight. They got cut to the back. If you had too much camber, blah blah blah, all that stuff. That's why you have to start in the back. So that is what you saw, and that is what you'll probably see more often.
Yeah, and then in DraftKings, obviously those guys were counted for those starting positions at the back of the field. So Truex, Jimmy Johnson, who was Paul Menard, Bubba Wallace, David Reagan, a couple of those guys, were big plays on
Now
DraftKings
Paul
over the
Menard
weekend.
had to go to a backup motor, and
Tough
Bubba
weekend.
Wallace hit the fence, went to a backup car. So that's why those two.
Tough weekend. Nonetheless, Joey Logano wins. It was a big win for Joey Logano. Probably, in my estimation, was one of his only chances to make it to Homestead if he wins that race, right?
Maybe the only chance. What do you think about that move at the end?
I liked it. I mean, in his position, I think anybody else, would have done that. It was, he's got to get there. And you got the three guys that have so many bonus points right now. You got to either win or you're fighting for that fourth spot.
Here's what excites me, is that Joey Logano won this race. Say that a Kurt Busch or
Eric
your buddy,
Almirola.
Chase Elliott
Chase
wins
Elliott.
the next one,
We only have one spot for a big three guy.
and then go to Phoenix and I don't know, 14 car wins there.
That would be interesting.
It makes Homestead very interesting, and I think it's a real possibility. It's a real thing that can happen.
I agree. I definitely
Okay, so
agree.
if that happens, who gets in? Harvick,
Who
Kyle
knows?
Busch, or Truex?
Harvick.
It's probably pretty safe to
yeah.
say Harvick is going to get in on points alone, don't you think?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, if there's 3 other winners, if there's
You only have a chance for 2 more winners.
I'm saying if there's 3 winners besides the 18, 78, or the 4, then it's going to I think it'll be the 4 car, unless they have something catastrophic happen in the next 2 weeks.
The problem is the 18 is very good at Texas. He won in the spring. He's good at Phoenix. The 78 has a chip on his shoulder now because he feels like he was done wrong this weekend at Martinsville. So it's going to be fun. I love Martinsville. I can't always, and we already talked about it in one of the questions that I probably got wrong about in Martinsville, or we talked about which race could have the most impact on the playoffs. Right now, Martinsville has.
Yeah, for sure. And if Martin Truex didn't see that coming, he's the only person at Martinsville yesterday that didn't see it coming yet in the last corner.
I agree with you.
and he wasn't completely 100% in the right. He got moved. Yeah, he got moved square in the bumper, which has been going on at Martinsville since Martinsville was built. I mean, you watch Dale Earnhardt, you watch the race.
Yeah,
They always
Earnhardt
like
did
to
it
say
forever.
with where Terry Labonte moved Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip won. You see the one that will live in history forever with Jeff Bodine and Richie Evans in the modified race. You see it there every time they race the late models there, the trucks. So if he didn't know that was coming, that's on him.
For sure.
Joey Logano's off to the round.
I agree. I think I tweeted most of those boos were from Earnhardt fans, let's be honest. What do we got? Rebecca Black. We got to take it to break here.
You got a picture behind you.
We'll play our next game on the Inside Line next.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. Call the Federal Tax Management Helpline that has been set up for you, 800-242-1706. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe more than $10,000 in taxes, call for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-242-1706. That's 800-242-1706. 800-242-1706.
All rise. Court is in session. The dishonorable judges of the Inside Line are taking the bench. Here's Tyler, Greg, and Ryan with Judgment Call.
Court is in session, boys, here on the Inside Line Fantasy Racing Show. Again, Donald Culver in for Greg Stump today. Ryan Flores is still here winning. 3-2-0 to 0 is the points. Right now, obviously, Rebecca Black has joined us in the studio. It was sitting back here, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
All right, what's the question?
Since I won the poll today, I get to ask the first question, right?
Yeah, you're up. You're up.
I just want to
Ryan.
let you know that.
Still doesn't make up for the penalty you had on pit road this week.
Oh my God.
Phantom penalties. Just be on the 14 car. You won't get one called. Anyway, with Logano locked in at Homestead and only 3 spots left, is it pretty much the big 3 and Joey? Or do you predict another outsider to eliminate a big 3 driver? If so, who and who gets eliminated?
I'm not really sure that we can say it's the big 3 and Joey yet. Again, we've talked already, I guess last week we talked about it, how the big 3 hasn't won a while. Joey Logano's into the next round. Will it be Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr.? I don't think so. I think Kevin Harvick gets in. I think Kyle Busch gets in, potentially can win this weekend or at Phoenix. We'll see if Truex can advance. He's very good at a mile-and-a-half racetrack. But you guys like Chase Elliott, who just won on the last mile-and-a-half racetrack we were at. There's going to be others. Clint Bowyer's good at Phoenix. We could potentially see two of the big 3 will get in. I think one will not be a big 3 member. So we'll split it in half, boys.
I disagree. I think that there's a really good shot. These guys have, they have more to fight for going into these next 2. Obviously, Kyle Busch is good at Texas, and Harvick obviously at Phoenix. His record there shows. But I think you're going to see Almirola or Clint Bowyer step it up. I think you're going to see Chase Elliott. He's been really strong. He's probably got the most momentum more than anybody going into these next 2 weekends. And I think it'll be one guy. I don't know who.
You think it'll be one guy?
I think it's going to be one big 3. You're going to have 2 guys spoil it.
I think Kevin Harvick, it's going to take a lot for him.
Real quick, who's your final 4?
I will say right now my final 4 is, we got Logano, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott go to Homestead.
Obviously, Logano. I think it's going to be Almirola, Clint Bowyer, Truex.
Harvick is out on your list.
I think you're gonna
And
have
Kyle Busch.
I think we're gonna have like a blown motor or something at Texas, or gonna take
He's
him
taking
out.
the risky move there. All right.
All right, on to the next one. You asked the questions here. You can have this paper since I have three of them.
Wow. All right. Will Truex put aside his anger and concentrate on Homestead, or will the bump and run from Sunday stick in the back of his mind the next 3 weekends and possibly cost him a championship?
I think it's a little bit of, but I think he'll use his anger and it will drive him to get into the championship. I think.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how much more to argue about that. I just think he's going to use that as motivation to get into that race to, do what he said he's going to do and beat Logano to win the championship. He wants to beat him outright, and I think it's going to drive him to get there.
Skip.
I believe that if Martin Truex is that upset about a short track incident, that's his own deal. Cole Pern and those guys were all talking garbage on pit road yesterday. They were fired up. At the end of the day, he could have left left Logano on his quarter panel, left him up there, and drove off to victory. You got to look in yourself and see what you could have done to not let that happen. Now, if he's that mad at Joey Logano and he's going to try to get him back, that's one thing. If the opportunity presents itself and he can dump him, that's another. But he's going to have to wait till Homestead, because if Logano wrecks the next 2 weeks, he pays him back. They're even. They go into Homestead. You can't wreck him again.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is.
You get one shot at it.
Well, he's not going to dump him in the next 2 weeks. There's no reason. He's
But
already
this
at
is
Homestead.
what I know is the 41, the 14, the 10. Those guys, the 9 car, they're within striking distance of the 78. The 78 is the most vulnerable. So they better. The 9 cars probably got the best pit crew on pit road. Them, the 22 and the 2 are great right now. The 78 is behind them, and the 18. So, man, will he put his anger behind? Yes. And concentrate on Homestead. He's got to concentrate on getting the Homestead.
All right. Next one.
You need to concentrate on Texas.
Fight.
Yeah. What non-playoff driver has the most to race for and will finish the 2018 season the strongest?
I think it's the guy that has the most to prove, and I think it's Brad Keselowski. He feels like he should be in this championship right now. We talked about it in break earlier. Brad Keselowski had one of the best cars at Martinsville. He's going to be very good again this week at Texas. He's very good at Texas. I potentially think he could be your best non-playoff position this weekend on your fantasy team. I think Brad Keselowski feels like this should be one of his championships and should have a chance at racing at a championship at Homestead, and missed out on that opportunity. So I think Brad Keselowski has the most to race for.
I agree with that, so I can't use that answer. I would like to say the 42, but the 42 seems to lay over and die after they get knocked out. They have before in the past. I'm going to say the 11 car. He's had a terrible season. You saw him fighting hard yesterday. They really need to step it up because his teammates have been running well. And I think anybody out of that Gibbs camp right now, with the 18 and the 78 as fast as they are, the 11, the 19, and the 20 all struggle. And the 11 car is trying to make a push. He's got a big house to pay for on the lake, and he better get to running well.
Just because I have 30 seconds left, Jimmy Johnson has a lot to prove right now, too, because he and Chad Knaus have won every single season they have been together in the Cup Series. And they have to win right now to keep that streak alive. That is pretty big as well. But Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson, those are my two picks.
The 11 car also trying to keep his streak alive of winning a race for the last 12 or 15 years, whatever it's been. So.
He's had a good shot last week at Martinsville. He'll be very good at Phoenix, I believe.
He's had a lot of good shots recently.
All right.
All right.
There we go.
To the judge.
Let's vote. I had to sprinkle a little icing on there with the Jimmy Johnson thing. I don't think it's going to work, though. Never does. Ready?
So I picked Tyler because I had to. The only reason I picked him is because I just can't get on the Almirola train. That's a thumbs down.
You can't get on the Almirola train. He's had some speed.
Well, he picked Almirola in his final four, and he's just not.
Thumbs down. We just gave him 3 more points.
Flawless.
I mean, I picked Ryan because you picked 2 guys.
You did pick 2 guys.
He picked one. Like,
Yeah.
it was which non-playoff driver,
Well,
which non-playoff drivers.
To be honest, those should be my points right now. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, if you'd have made a case for just one guy.
Why'd you say I cheat?
What chances did you like better, Jimmy Johnson or Brad Keselowski, though?
I like Jimmy Johnson.
I would Jimmy Johnson, just because Brad's been running well. Jimmy Johnson hasn't. He really does have a lot to prove.
Well, part of the question is, what are who has more to the race?
He's
for?
been proving
Yeah.
what he's got. They just didn't put it all together this year.
All right, let's play Minority Report when we return. This is the Inside Line Fantasy Racing Show presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style.
Save on your next oil change when you purchase 5 quarts of Pennzoil High Mileage Motor Oil and a MicroGuard filter for the price of Pennzoil Conventional. Now $26.99. Extend the life of your vehicle and save big with Pennzoil Oil and Filter specials at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Grunt Style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt Style, and this we'll defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com.
The 1993 Cup Series season had more than its fair share of twists and turns.
Checkered flags waving. I look in my mirror, and here's Earnhardt right on my tail, and he goes down low to pass me. And I said, oh, no, you don't.
As Wallace spins, Wallace's car goes on its nose.
Here's stories that you've never heard before in a 10-part series called The 1993 Season, 25 years later.
And Davey was behind me, and we came off the corner, and there's a guy standing in the middle of the racetrack.
You can download it for free on iTunes and at MRN.com right now.
Tyler, Greg, and Ryan try their hand at conflict resolution. This is the Minority Report on the Inside Line.
More games here on the Inside Line Fantasy Racing Show as we are looking forward to heading to Texas for Fantasy NASCAR. Boys, you guys ready to play?
Can't wait.
Playing some Minority Report.
I can't wait.
Get the flags out, and Daryl, what's our picks?
All right, so we're heading to Texas. Our first Minority Report driver of the game, Jamie McMurray, in 3, 2, 1.
We don't like McMurray this weekend. Why? Skip.
Because he's Jamie McMurray.
But this is what I'll give him. I might, you know what? He
finished third in the spring.
Here last race. He's just been so bad here lately.
Yeah.
And well, I want to like him because I like Jamie a lot. It's just not been good.
In all honesty, and if you look at Jamie McMurray's numbers at mile-and-a-half racetracks throughout this year, he is probably going to be in the bottom of the guys you want to look at non-playoff drivers, I believe. Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, I think Eric Jones, who has shown speed. He showed speed at Texas earlier this year. But there's better guys to pick than Jamie McMurray in your non-playoff spots.
Maybe he qualifies dead last. Maybe put him in.
Well, in DraftKings, yeah, sure.
NASCAR Fantasy Live, keep him out.
He's been qualifying okay. All right, next pick.
Gotta do eyes closed here.
Eyes closed, flags ready. Our second driver in the Minority Report, Clint Boyer. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Tyler, you are the minority of.
I'm the only one, right?
Yep.
The reason I'm not picking Clint Boyer this weekend is because I can think of about 5 other guys in playoff position that I think I would rather play on my NASCAR Fantasy Live team. I'll give you some of those guys if you want to help bolster this argument. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano. Those are just 5 right there of playoff guys that I think are a better pick than Clint Boyer. Martin Truex Jr., driving with a chip on his shoulder, led 107 laps in this race a year ago. Kyle Busch dominated this race earlier in the spring. Kevin Harvick has been the best mile-and-a-half car there is. Should have won Kansas. I think Clint Boyer is not going to be on my NASCAR Fantasy Live team this week. If he qualifies poorly, I'll think about him on DraftKings. But playoff positions, boys. We have 3 open positions for playoff drivers. Clint Boyer is not in the top 3 this week.
All right.
All right, Donald and Ryan. Clint Boyer in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I got a changer.
I like when you put it that way and you look at the NASCAR Fantasy Live deal and you don't have to save guys for the rest of the chase. I don't think that he's your best pick as far as chase drivers go. So I would agree with that. Although he did win Michigan this year, which is with the repave is a little bit more comparable.
He could be good this weekend. Let's be honest.
Those sons of guns, though, should
all
have
them
a penalty.
Stewart hot cars.
I'm not sure if Clint Boyer and that team can roll off the truck with second or third place speed. I think they can load off the truck with fourth or fifth place speed, but they can prove me wrong as well. They have fast enough cars.
I'll start Clint Boyer at Phoenix before I start him at Texas.
Absolutely. All right, next one.
All right, Minority Report driver number 3, Bubba Wallace. 3, 2, 1.
I picked him too.
Donald, you are the minority. You have 60 seconds to change their minds. Go.
Bubba Wallace.
Here's what I know, and I'll give you this. He's got 1 start here.
And he finished
8th in the last race.
But they have been very, very bad. They have not been good. They aren't even showing up to some tracks with a backup car, which they didn't at Talladega.
Glad they did this week.
It's like
Talladega, you can do that.
You can, because you're not going to wreck in practice.
And they have an RCR alliance, so if they wreck a car, what they can do is unload an RCR car, a backup they have, and wrap it in number 43.
But he did have speed. He did have speed. I mean, we're stealing your argument here to try to defend Bubba Wallace, but I honestly picked him because I thought no one was going to, and I was going to make the argument that he finished 8th through attrition. I don't know. I probably wouldn't play him.
Knowing what I know about Bubba Wallace and the things that I update every week in my job, he's in the rookie points, and he's 108 points behind William Byron, who hasn't done anything this year. So Bubba hasn't done anything for me this year. I mean, Daytona and Talladega, he's finished well, but other than that, and Texas, I guess, but other than that, in the beginning of the season, they had momentum because of Daytona. Now they just doesn't do it for me.
I think Bubba Wallace is extremely encouraged about the rules package coming next year, because that team could use a rules package like this to help even up the playing field, because they're falling a bit right now. They're kind of losing touch. But I think Bubba Wallace could be a potential next year in DraftKings. So I don't know.
All right, Tyler and Ryan. Bubba Wallace. 3, 2, 1.
I got it. I'm not going to play Bubba Wallace.
There
you go, rookie. We got you some points. I only did that.
The only saving grace was that he did finish 8th here in the last race, but since then it's been a downward spiral.
So he could potentially have speed this weekend, and if he qualifies poorly, which he has been doing, he could very well be a DraftKings play.
Yeah.
All right. Next
But
one.
in the overall argument, I just not Bubba Wallace.
All right, flags ready, eyes closed. Minority Report driver number 4. In 3, 2, 1, Rebecca Black. Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon? Oh, no, I'm out on Austin Dillon, too. Why, boys?
He's just not been good.
It's the same as the same argument as Bubba.
Same equipment.
He finished 1 spot better than Bubba in Daytona, and hasn't done anything else since this year.
I can get behind Austin Dillon on DraftKings. I'm not going to play him on NASCAR Fantasy Live for sure. And the only way I play him on DraftKings is if he qualifies like he did last week, 25th. He had a good run last week. He probably won a lot of people some money. He was running pretty good at Martinsville. I don't know if he ended up finishing well. He might have had a problem, but he was running well.
That team takes advantage of a lot of people's misfortunes. They get good runs when other guys have bad runs, and that's about it.
We gave Donald 5 points.
Heck yeah, Donald.
I have 3. Skip has 9. This is an uphill battle, boys. It's going to be tough, but we'll see what we can do. This is the Inside Line Fantasy Racing Show presented by Hercules Tires in Gruntstown.
If it's time to replace your vehicle's headlights, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts See Better, Drive Safer sale for a twin pack of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra headlights and get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. See farther and more clearly with Silver Star headlights at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Join MRN as we travel through the life of NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack.
I won races that I never thought I'd win.
From growing up under the Earnhardt name to super speedway wins to Whiskey River, we dive into everything Dale Jr.
He's Rain Man for NASCAR history.
You know, we weren't the typical family that got to sit down to dinner together.
Tune in to Junior's Journey, available on iTunes for download only on the Motor Racing Network.
Live sports are the one true reality entertainment. where a single dramatic moment can become timeless. In NASCAR, Motor Racing Network's live broadcast elevates your senses to the sights, sounds, and struggles taking place on the racetrack.
Austin Dillon leads the pack. No one ever thought he would contend for the win. He's going to win the 60th running of the Daytona 500.
The power of radio to the imagination of the listener. Tune in to the Motor Racing Network. Visit MRN.com for an affiliate list in your local area.
Do you live your life up under a rock? Or are you Tyler Burnett?
Welcome back to the Inside Line Fantasy Racing Show. Tyler Burnett, Skip Flores, Donald Culver. We're going to Under the Rock. This is going to be fun, guys. This is going to be really fun. Let's do it. What's our pick here?
All right, so we're going to Texas, and this is these photos are going to be from a famous movie that was set in Texas.
Set in Texas.
Yeah,
all right.
This is gonna be bad.
This is gonna be really bad for me too.
I think you guys will.
Think we'll know it?
I think you guys might know this one.
All
So
right.
Jennifer, let's go ahead and post it up. There's 2 pictures, so they'll rotate through. Anytime, Jen.
All right. Oh my goodness. Does anyone know? Oh, we're gonna rotate through some pictures here. All right. We're looking. If you're listening, just a bunch of hippies. It looks like. I don't even know where to start with this. I think I know.
It's gonna be
that
really
one guy.
obvious too.
Anything?
Yes.
Even an actor?
Yes.
Okay.
Ryan knows the whole thing. I have no clue.
Well, I only got 2 down, but if no one's gonna answer,
I got nothing.
Oh!
Yeah.
There's The Rock.
You got The Rock.
All right, Ryan, hit it.
It's Dazed and Confused.
Oh.
That is correct.
They keep getting older. I keep getting older, and they stay the same age.
Is that
All
like
right, we'll give you 2
is that
points
like a
for that.
quote in the movie or something?
Yeah, that's what Matthew McConaughey, number 3. Give me 3 points.
That is the movie that Matthew McConaughey got.
Why didn't
famous
you put
for
his
saying,
name on there?
All right.
All right. He says, "You know what I love about high school girls?" Because he's the guy that graduated like three years earlier. He says, "I keep getting older, and they stay the same age."
All right, let's bring in chicken.
Bring him in. All right. Chicken's been beat all year. It's time for it to lose again. Oh, oh, I lost my notes. Thanks, Chicken. I'm pretty sure I already lost this game. We don't even need to do this.
If we'd have done The Rock if I'd have been on this last week, I'd have
Kyle
crushed it.
Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, and Clint Boyer. That's a very, very interesting team. That's not the way I would go.
I think I got 2 of those.
I got 3.
This is why the chicken loses every week.
I crushed this competition. I picked
no Kevin Harvick, no Joey Logano, who has a very good track record at Texas. My team was Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, who's really good at Texas, and then Eric Jones was kind of my dark horse pick because he had a top 5 at Texas in the spring.
Yeah.
I had Boyer and Bush. Those are the only 2 I picked.
Boyer and Bush. All right, Ryan, you probably won, I guess.
I don't think it was a landslide victory.
Ryan
wins.
I even do too.
That's my
That means I get to pick first.
Wow, congratulations, Ryan. Nice win.
Hey, thanks. Big win. Big win for the home team.
Big time win. Unlike the penalty you got last
Here we
week.
go. 4-12.
Home team.
We should have won this race. In the spring, I had a loose wheel followed up by an uncontrolled tire penalty, and we got back to 5th.
You're taking the sole blame.
You have marker all over your face somehow. I don't know what you did.
I don't think you can see it, though.
It's on your list. It's gross. Zoom in, please. Zoom in on this. You're next.
Boy.
Go ahead. Taking the 78 and the 2.
78 and the 2.
You're left with the
right.
last race winner here. Can you pull it off?
You're going to leave.
I have to.
Because Greg paints his helmets. Obviously, Greg's at SEMA right now. The 18 I will gladly take. He would be my second pick. The 4 would be my first pick. I guess. Do I pick another playoff driver? I guess. Who else do you got here? I'll take the 22 then.
Oh, Penske. We're going Penske trio.
I think the 22 would be really good this week.
You're
Nothing to
staying away from
lose.
the short Haas car.
Just hope Truex isn't around him.
Truex isn't.
18-22 for me.
78 and 2 for me.
And the 4.
The 4 and the 12.
The 4 and the 12. Straight team Penske and the big 3 this weekend. I think Stewart Haas would be fine. I think Eric Almirola and Clint Boyer would be pretty good as well.
Maybe somebody can win from the pole like I won this race from the pole today.
Maybe. Thanks to Rebecca Black for being on the show today. That's a good time. Also Donald Culver. It's always good to have you as well.
Anytime.
The intern, John Saunders, for helping us out. Appreciate that as well. You just drew a mustache. We'll talk to you next week. Good luck on your fantasy shows. This is the Inside Line Fantasy Racing Show presented by Hercules Tires in Grunt Style.